Hey there guys, welcome back to another buyer's guide. This time we'll be looking at the CV90-105 XC-8, a battle rating 10.3 pack premium in the Swedish tech tree. This pack costs $65 in the Gaijin store and comes with 15 days of premium and 2,000 golden eagles. And real quick, if you guys enjoy this content or find it helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. The CV90-105 is a bit of a radical design in that, despite being comparable in size to a main battle tank, it features exceptionally poor armor protection, even by light tank standards, but is absolutely fantastic in just about every other area. Because of how poor its protection is, I'm not going to bother splitting out this one between kinetic and chemical protection, since it's really more of a question about what areas are vulnerable to heavy machine gun fire or not, let alone dart rounds or any sort of heat warhead. One thing I should explain right off the bat is that the armor on the turret is not RHA, but rather aluminum alloy, hence why I'm using RHA approximations, as the actual level of protection is much lower than the thickness suggests. There is not spall liner or any sort of spaced or composite armor behind that either, so yes, those flat turret cheeks can be penned by 50 cals. The upper front plate is made of 20mm of RHA sloped at 78 degrees, which will be enough to resist some autocannon fire at least, but not really much else. The lower front plate is just 20mm of RHA at various slopes with a thin composite screen on the flat part, so again, don't be expecting much from this part either. You can probably guess from this what the side armor looks like. The turret is effectively just straight up unprotected, with even rifle caliber machine guns able to penetrate it from the side if you're firing at it flat on. The upper side hull has a bit of spaced armor, which at least will resist machine gun fire somewhat, with the center section having a fuel tank behind it, granting the turret crew just a bit of extra protection. The lower side hull is 10mm of RHA with a 5mm structural steel skirt and various suspension bits scattered about. It's at least resistant to machine gun fire, but even if it wasn't, there's only dead space behind it anyways. The only bright spot when it comes to the CV90-105's armor protection is that the hull has a lot of crisscrossing 10mm RHA plates, which will at least help stop internal spalling somewhat. Now, I know that might sound a bit depressing, but this is pretty much where the bad news ends. In terms of firepower, this thing gets an auto-loading 105mm gun with a 5-second reload, with its best dart round being the DM33. This is not an overwhelmingly powerful round for the BR, but it's still perfectly serviceable, and paired with this fast reload speed, makes the CV90-105 well above average in terms of firepower. Additionally, this vehicle comes with a rather unusual ammo type for a Western tank, a barrel-launched ATGM. The Phalaric 105 is a beam-riding, tandem-charged ATGM, which is currently found only on the CV90-105 and also the Finnish CTCV. It doesn't have the most fantastic penetration at only 550mm, and it's not especially maneuverable either. However, it does have almost 5.2 kilograms of high explosives in it, which makes it by far your best option for overpressuring light vehicles. This firepower is backed up by an excellent 10 degrees of gun depression, as well as Gen 3 thermals and a laser warning receiver, granting excellent situational awareness. Also, unlike the various Tech Tree CV90 variants at this BR, which have a 550 horsepower engine, the CV90-105 comes with a drastically improved 670 horsepower engine, giving it a speed comparable to many wheeled light vehicles while maintaining the advantages of having tracks. Also of note, it can go up to 25 miles per hour in reverse, which lets you very quickly duck into cover if you start taking fire. The last notable strength of this vehicle comes with its lineup. You actually get 3 different variants of the CV90-40, all with different specializations, as well as this thing, if you like boxes with missiles on top of them. I find that the 40mm armed variants are a lot more useful for urban environments, since at close range, 40mm APFSDS is still an effective round even against main battle tanks, and also 2 of these variants get extra layers of composite armor, which grants them quite a bit of extra protection against autocannon fire and artillery splinters. The other part of this thing's lineup that's worth mentioning is the CAS. I know some of you will hate me for bringing this up, but it has to be said, the AJ-37 gets access to the RB-75T, which is an excellent TV-guided missile which is competitive even at top tier. While you only get 2 of them, they have an excellent standoff range of 20 kilometers, which lets them easily outrange SAMs, and they will also easily one-hit main battle tanks. Given how excellent this airframe is, it's not at all hard to quickly land and rearm multiple times in one match. I've done it as many times as 4 or 5. Given that you're running almost an entire lineup of light tanks, which get the airstrike modification, reducing the spawn cost of aircraft every time you spot an enemy which your teammate kills, this vehicle will complement it extremely well. So what do I think of this thing overall? Well, usually I wouldn't give especially high ratings to a more niche vehicle, but this thing is just so overwhelmingly good at its job and has such a strong lineup. I think 9 out of 10 is really the only appropriate rating I can give it. Again, the lack of any real protection whatsoever is an extremely serious and annoying drawback, and is what holds me back from giving it a perfect 10 out of 10 rating, but even so, this will ultimately not hamper you too badly, and this remains an excellent vehicle in spite of it. Anyways guys, that's going to be all for this video. If you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and for more War Thunder Ground RB content, check out the playlist linked in the description. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.